Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of JR&Skipps podcast, where we give you a rundown of everything that has gone on social media over the past week from our point of view. So this is basically just me and Skips, just listening or going over what happened over the week, and we're just giving you our own perspective on what we think about it. So let's get into it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the JR&Skipps podcast. So on this episode, we're going to be covering music topics, some media topics. We're also going to drop some viral topics and banter. The whole idea is just for us to, have a conversation, understand what's been happening the last few weeks, see what we can catch up on. I obviously want to get your opinions on this. So, yeah, let's
Yep.
go. JR, anything you want to add to this?
No, I'm just gonna say thank you guys for tuning in. And at the end of the day, it's just JR and Skips' perspective, right? We're not saying it's facts. We're just telling you how we
Absolutely.
feel. Let's go.
Okay. So first things first, we want to cover, let's talk about the FA Cup roundup.
Oh,
Anything you want to talk about in terms of the FA Cup? We've seen some very interesting results. Man City, Liverpool 4-0, Chelsea, Port Vale 7-0, and then the
wow.
biggest upset, Arsenal is out of the FA Cup. No
Oh,
surprises, man. So where do we want to start from? What are you thinking?
obviously, let's save the best for last, which is Arsenal's
The Arsenal, yeah?
the Arsenal match.
Obviously,
But
yeah.
yeah, we could start with the Chelsea versus Port Vale game. I think it was a nice match from a Chelsea point of view. A much needed win for Liam Rosinho. It takes a bit of pressure away from him. And also it helps
Yeah.
him the fact that he benched Enzo, sent a message to the team, and for the team to go out and win so convincingly, I think it's a it's a nice backing at the right time for him. But you were about to
Yeah,
say
but
something.
let's be honest though, benching Enzo against Portville, like, doesn't really make a difference. Like,
It's gonna miss the game against Man City as well. So
I think
I
that's
mean,
the real statement, I think that's even why they had to make it 2 games, because if you just
because
bench
of
him
what you
against
just said, because if it
Portville,
was just one game, you would
what's the
probably
point?
say how convenient it is to bench him. Yeah,
Then
I
they
think you're
just
right.
add one more game against Man City to make sure that the point sticks. Well, just as you said in the Chelsea versus Portville, I did have a look at the highlights, and honestly, it was a no contest. We're scoring, I think the first goal was in the 64th second. So, bruh, that it's called,
That is, yeah,
almost everybody scored, man.
that free food game. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I'm like, this really a competition. Well, you can't blame them though. At the end of the day,
you can
you have
only
to
beat
beat
what's in
who's in
front
front
of
of you.
you. Exactly.
Exactly,
And
my G.
you know
So,
about FA Cup upset, so don't take it for granted. Decent result for them,
yeah.
like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good for them. They're into the semifinals, 7-0 thumping result. So I guess what's interesting now is who are they going to face in the semis? I hope they face Man City, because that just makes it a dicey encounter. Because honestly, I don't want Chelsea winning shit.
Honestly,
So,
you shouldn't worry about what goes on in the FA Cup for now. You're an Arsenal fan and your interest is
oh
done.
my
So
days, man. Yeah, I guess I can't say much about that. I had my chance
yes.
and I blew it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
think
don't
that
worry
that's
about that.
really all
Yeah.
about Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the City Liverpool game. So once
Well,
again, Pep Guardiola versus
another
Ancelotti,
upset.
4-0. That's 3 games this season, 3 L's. I think aggregate is probably 9 or 10-1
Good
or
God
something.
Almighty. Basically,
So
sunning them every chance they get
Sonning
to.
them, there are 2 bad coaches, but obviously one has the upper hand, and it's crazy, man. Ancelotti just can't win a game against Pep to save his life. So
Honey, slots.
la
Da-da-da.
da da da. Boring ass too, man.
I'm
So
telling
I,
you,
I
get
think I
that.
think when I saw the draw, Man City Liverpool, I really thought this was gonna be an interesting game,
The blockbuster
you
of
know.
the time. Yeah.
But then seeing the final score, I'm like, whoa, was this like a friendly game, or was this like a Goliath
I
versus
didn't really
David or
catch the game,
something?
but I saw a viral moment of where Cheki was on the bench putting
Yeah,
Ekitike's jersey.
absolutely.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, the interesting part was Ekitike is on the bench during the game. Cherky gets removed during the game. Then Cherky, being a Gen Z guy, wants to show himself, and then he puts on the Ekitike jersey.
Yeah,
And I think someone
what does
behind him
Gen Z
told,
have to do with this now? Why are you dragging my Gen Z folks?
nah,
Why you
because
dragging
that's
my
just
Gen Z folks?
the Gen Z action. Because why are you trying to wear a rival jersey during the game? Like, you can do it after the game. probably just trying to chase clout and get some headlines. And of
I mean,
course, he
they are
got the
French
headline.
teammates, so they probably know each other from the French national team, and they probably just came back
Mm,
together from
yeah,
the national camp.
yeah.
So it could have been a simple case of, hey, I just ran into my friend. I just came back from
Nah, man,
national
it
team
feels like
camp.
trolling. It feels like trolling. If you want to do it and talk about your French national team guy, do it after the game. Maybe take a
Show some
picture
respect. Show
showing the
some
jersey.
respect.
Put some respect
But
on
I
his
think,
name.
I don't think Shaki should be the one showing respect. What was the score at halftime?
I think 3-0 or something like 3-0. Then it ended up 4-0. And the worst part of it is they're 4-0 down. They get a penalty. They give it to the Mo Salah and he missed.
Salah missed a
It-
penalty.
Yeah, Trafford
Oh
saved
my
saved it, man, at
days.
4-0 down. So, even had a chance to just add a goal, just make sure it's a bit respectable and maybe make it 4-1, 4-2, miss the penalty, 4-0. So I think that's a horrible game for them.
I'm always
Um,
celebrating the downfall of my up. So Mo Salah, your reign of terror is coming to an
it's
end.
over, man. It's over.
Man, Salah
Um,
had the league on strings for a while. So anything that
so
brings
is
him,
it good to see though? You think someone that's terrorized you for so long suddenly having the probably the worst of times, like
yeah. Now that
what?
you mentioned it, that's
Yeah.
a good segue. So which player will I think? I think I never got to enjoy this from Aguero. Aguero was one player that always terrorized Manchester United, but I didn't
Yeah, he
see him
left
slow
on a
down.
high, yeah.
Till the last days, he kept terrorizing Manchester United. So I don't think as a Man United fan, I ever had that feeling. I think Salah is the first time I'm actually experiencing something like this. Other rival players like that were um, prolific against United. Maybe I could say Fernando Torres. And when he went to
Yeah, he
Chelsea,
had a very bad
he had his
ending.
stints.
Yeah,
Yeah, his stint at Chelsea wasn't the best. DJ Drogba wasn't really prolific against Manchester United. He had
I can't
a
say the same. I wish I could say the same, but obviously I can't, man. Dude was
yeah.
known for scoring so many goals against Arsenal, so let's just leave Didi drop out of this
Yeah,
conversation.
I think my
Um,
version is Mo Salah. As annoying as that sounds, Mo Salah and Sergio Aguero. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I think those are two rival players that actually had a lot of joy against Manchester United.
Yeah, speaking of Salah, I think he also had a lot of joy against Arsenal, but there's someone that I would actually want to add to that topic, and that's Bobby Firmino. Every time we play Liverpool in his heydays, there was always like a Bobby Firmino moment. If you could think back and remember the one where,
Yeah,
beat
yeah.
beat
But to your point,
Mustafi, beat
did he ever die down? He just left, right? He didn't have
yeah,
like
he
barren
just left.
spells in
We
it.
never got to enjoy him in his buried moment. So
Exactly.
I guess that just sucks for us, man. It is what it is, though.
Sometimes you don't
Um,
get it right. Yeah.
Exactly. Still on the FA Cup, though, I guess we can cover the biggest topic of the week, which is, Arsenal are out of the FA Cup.
First things first. First things
Um,
first. Sorry, my G. I have to say, whoever came up
okay.
with that quote online that goes, "Why argue with an Arsenal fan when you can just wait?" I think
Screw Patrice
he
Evra,
needs
man.
his royalties, fam. Because really,
I'm not
why
gonna give
argue
Evra
with
any
an
props.
Arsenal fan when you could just wait? We went from the quadruple to the treble. Now there's still a
Okay.
possibility of the double. So yeah, I mean, all in all, but to your point, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, the upset of the FA Cup was Southampton crashing it 2-1 on Arsenal's head. So yeah,
If that was a Man City fan having something to say, I'll probably take it serious. But Man U were out from the first game, so you got nothing to say on this, man. At least I got to the quarterfinal. It's embarrassing though, have to go out to Southampton when what just taking it back though, you started with the quadruple. I never had hopes of a quadruple. The way I see it, the media tried to build up the Arsenal
the
trophy thing
media,
like
the
yeah, it was the
media.
media,
You
man.
mean
I
it's
don't
not
think
you
you
guys
saw
that say you have
Arsenal.
the best players in every position? You guys
I don't
reportedly
agree
have
with
the
that
best
though.
goalkeeper in the world in Raya, the best center back or center back
I can
pairing.
support that position in terms of having the best
You
goalkeeper in the
supposedly have
world.
the best left winger in the world in Saka. You have the best creator in the world in the league in
Oh
Odegaard.
my
You have
days,
the
man.
best engine in the world in Rice.
I think
So
you've been
by
speaking to
your
the wrong
logic,
Arsenal fans, man.
well, I might not be speaking. I'm speaking. You may not think that way, but I'm letting you know that majority of Arsenal fans feel that way, and unfortunately, the
I think that
majority
those are
carries.
just deluded Arsenal fans, because let's be honest, yeah. We have a good
Everybody
squad,
gets
but
him. Oh,
then
that's keep. So get him.
yeah, look, we have a good squad, but let's be honest, yeah. When they talk about we have the best squad in the world, if you want to do like a player by player comparison with the Arsenal and Man City team, come on, man, Man City have a better squad. Like let's be honest.
This
We were talking
season,
about
no,
look, okay,
no,
let's look at who started the game today. Yeah, Jesus
oh,
was a number 9. Jesus is not gonna. They
no, no.
literally sold him, man.
That's
They
not how
literally
to do the
sold him.
comparison,
Okay,
yo.
how do you do it then?
Because yes, this is starting because your Chris, which was your summer star signing, and your other summer star signing, Kai Havertz, are both
But
out.
this is the FA Cup though. You should be able to rest your starters and play
But we're
your
talking about the
proposed
squad,
squad
not the
depth.
squad that started today.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Player
trying to
for
say. That
player,
outside
Arsenal
the
have a
outside the
better
starting
squad than
11, yeah.
Manchester City this season. Player
Nah,
for
I can't
player.
agree with that, man.
The
Because
only
if you want to
the
look at
only player in Man
yeah,
City that effortlessly walks into the Arsenal, I won't say effortlessly, but
you say
based on past,
Haaland, eh?
is Haaland. Other than that,
Okay, so
no
what
other
about
City
Cherky?
player.
Who benches Cherky in the Arsenal squad?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Saka is supposed to be able to bench
Nah,
King, the
Cherky
Arsenal
is
squad.
playing like a number 10. Obviously, he's been better than Odegaard this season. He's been better than Eze this season. So he's been better than all our creative players. Yep.
I mean, when you say better, I mean the numbers have to. I will have to say creatively, the numbers don't lie. So, but I don't
Yeah,
think if
I'm not
I'm,
even
I
gonna
don't
look
think I've
at
ever
the
watched Czech
numbers here.
or I've watched AZ and I'll go and say, oh man, if I had a chance to pick from either, I would say Turkey. But yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I'm
so
just.
that's the point. You pick Cherky, and then if you want to go to the
No,
wings,
I
we're
said I
talking
would not
Matt.
pick Turkey.
Oh, you wouldn't pick. Oh, I'll pick Cherky. From what I've seen this season, I'm definitely gonna pick Cherky. And if I was
Okay,
gonna pick a
let me give
creative
it to
player
you,
for
Turkey. So
next
that's
year, I'll
Haaland
pick
and
Cherky.
Turkey. We still have nine
Okay,
other
so let's go to
positions.
the wings. Yeah, we're
Okay.
talking Martinelli, Trossard, Saka. Based on Saka's form this season, are you gonna tell me that these 3 players I've mentioned, any of them has been better than Semenyo this season?
But that's hindsight. You know what you're arguing out of context. We're saying
Yeah, but we're talking
pound
about
for
now.
pound, everybody's
Yeah,
playing to
pound
their
for pound now.
everybody's playing to the best of their abilities, not what they are playing currently, not bad form,
Okay,
not
who's been the better winger this season? Apart in these 4 people I've mentioned, Semenyo, Saka, Trossard, Martinelli, who's been the best?
numbers say it's a menu. But what I'm saying is
Semenyo.
like at the
So
start of the
we're
season,
spoken
if
about
we were
3
saying who had
attackers
a
now, yeah?
better squad between Arsenal and Man City, it
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm
Arsenal.
saying. It's
You
just
cannot
a
now say because the
media
season has
narrative,
panned
man.
out in a different way, you will now retrospectively say City have a better
Nah,
squad than
nah,
Arsenal opponents.
that's not the point I'm trying to raise. I'm saying look at Man City squad as at today,
There's a reason
and
you're
look
nine
at
points
Arsenal
ahead.
squad
There's a
as at
reason you're
today.
9 points ahead of Man City. So don't
Because we've
get
been
carried away.
better.
Don't get
It's not
exactly. So don't get
necessarily
carried away by City's
about
form right
having a
now.
great squad. If we
Okay.
get to the back line, Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, obviously those guys have been better and they'll walk into the Manchester City squad. But then this narrative that Arsenal has the best squad, like best squad what, man? Was to starting Norgard, he was trash. Starting Jesus, he was trash. Martinelli was trash. Who else was trash, man? Who who played on the right today? Who played on the right? Um,
Man,
who
it
was on
sucks
the
that
right?
of all days I didn't get to catch the game because what a successful
Lucky
watch.
you.
That would
Okay,
have been.
yeah, we played Dalman on the right. So that's a 16-year-old starting in the FA Cup quarterfinal. Yes, he's a wonder kid and all that, but man, Ateta, wrong place, wrong time. Maybe start Noni, bring him in
But but
after a
but if
while.
I understand correctly, 11 or 10
Yeah.
to 11 of your players had to be withdrawn from their international squads because of injuries, right?
Yeah, but they didn't play
So
though.
so it's
Rice
an
wasn't in
injury
the
de- so
squad.
it's an
Saka
injury
wasn't in the
depleted
squad.
so it's an injury depleted Arsenal squad, right? So you don't. So what do you now mean by Ateta?
Oh,
Right, time and
back to the
place.
best squad, right?
No, no. I'm
Okay,
basically trying to say it wasn't his fault for playing the 16-year-old. Like to your point, it's an injury
yeah.
depleted team. If everybody was fit, even if
But the
Dalman wants to
indication was
feature,
Noni
he
was fit
probably
though.
not start.
But Noni was fit. Well, okay, I can understand. Okay, Noni pulled out from the England squad with a brace,
He's
so
probably
maybe you
too
don't want to
salty
risk
playing. Yeah.
him. And it's just okay. I can understand. But 16-year-old Darman, man, bro, I wasn't sure. I
Mm.
wasn't of the impression that he was ready for this kind of game.
Haaland,
And
Messi.
look,
Are you
I'm
serious?
not. Yeah, he's Lionel Messi, and I'm not gonna put anything against Max Darman, but. He did. He tried his best, but then he lost possession too many times. Even the first goal that we conceded was Odegaard trying to be too smart and give the ball away, thinking Dama will be there.
Are you
Next thing
talking
you
about
know,
Odegaard better than Bruno Fernandes? That's him, Odegaard.
Odegaard who better than who? Nah,
I
man.
no. We
Any
had this
day,
com- we
I'll
had
take
this
Bruno,
conver-
bro.
we had this conversation
I'll
2 years
take
ago.
Bruno right now, man. Come
This
on, look
wasn't
at
your,
those
oh
goals.
no, it's right now, right?
That
But
was a couple years
back,
ago, man. That
back
was a couple.
then, right now, in the future, the right answer is always Bruno. Is what I just want you to know, okay?
You know,
Don't get
as an
hyped for the
Arsenal fan,
moment
yeah, as an
in
Arsenal
trying
fan,
to
I'm always gonna try and pull my players first. But
the
then,
key
at this
the
point in
number
time,
one
yeah,
role of the
you go
creator in the
Bruno,
team is to create chances, my
assist
brother.
and score goals. Yeah,
Forget
create
the fact that
chances,
he
assist and
doesn't
score
hold on to
goals.
possession, or like it think that's what it lends back to your point about Arteta's football being drab, and if not the fact that he was going to win the league
Look,
this year,
man,
so many fans are not
honestly,
tolerating it anymore.
I, I'm
But I'm
gonna be honest
saying,
here.
um,
Yeah, the style of play, it's fair to say that Arteta's style of play was from like is like more or less a subset of Pep Guardiola's style of play. But then the way we hold on to the ball and pass around at the back is just too methodical, man. Because picture if you were the coach on the opposition side. All you really need to do is okay, they're gonna pass around for a while, but when they start moving the ball, then it's time for us to move. So you can actually even help your players in terms of saving energy because it's gonna
you
go to the
yeah,
keeper,
yeah,
to the defender,
I
to the
like your
right
point. I
back.
like the point that you
Yeah,
alluded to Arteta and Pep
bro.
playing similar brands of football. But I think the
Yeah,
difference in Pep's style of football is even from Pep's first stint as a manager with Barcelona,
yeah.
while his football has been a little bit, methodical and tiki-taka,
It was entertaining,
he
man.
has always been blessed with super, super talented players who, at the end
Good
of the
point.
day,
Good
they know
point.
how to produce moments of magic, right? So it might
I can
look
agree
robotic,
with that.
the
I can
approach might
agree
be
with that.
robotic, but they execute it in such a, and you can even notice that when he went to Bayern Munich, he had super talented players as well, like Muller, Lewandowski, Götze, where Robben, they played a little bit of methodic football, but they knew when to switch up and produce moments of magic. Bringing it down to Man City when he came, he had the likes of KDB, Sterling, um, Sane. These are players that David Silva. These are players that, yes, they look like they play robotic kind of football, but they are so talented that they also know when to produce that moment of magic. Bringing it down now to your point with Arteta, whilst Arsenal have gotten the part about the drilled portion of the football where they are so robotic in quotes in the sense that once Arsenal gets going, it's very hard to get the ball off them. They recycle the ball very well. They are like a unit going forward and coming back. But I
Yeah,
think
but once they
the
go
bigger
past
problem is that
the
they
halfway
don't have
line, yeah.
they don't have the super talented players now who, when everything seems blocked, produce that moment of magic and break the deadlock. I think that's to your point
You know,
why they get to a
I
certain
can
point.
disagree with that though, because I
Okay.
think it's a valid point. But then when you see the way Pep Guardiola's players perform, they kind of improve from season on to season. And then they kind of have a way of applying themselves into Pep Guardiola's tactics. But then if you want to look at the Arsenal player, let's use Bukayo Saka, for example. Yes, he's had an injury, an hamstring injury. But it's fair to say in the last year and this season, there's been like a drop in his performance and he's losing his in terms of being dynamic. He's kind of lost it. Look at Odegaard.
So
Odegaard was someone that
you're
we're
basically
saying,
agreeing with me when you're saying the super talented players of Arsenal that are supposed to understand Arteta's football but be talented enough to produce moments of magic, they are not delivering. That is why it looks drab.
yeah, but I'm
If
saying that
Saka
it
was
might be
flying and
Arteta limiting their ability to be dynamic and apply spontaneous football.
but for Saka, now
It
that you
might
brought
be
it up,
an instruction from the manager's side.
Saka reminds me a lot of Marcus Rashford, right? These are players that burst onto the scene.
You've raised that point a couple
Football.
times.
We as
Yeah,
fans sometimes we like to forget that at the end of the day, these footballers are also human beings, right? And
yeah,
like
humans,
everything, they
eh?
suffer wear and tear. Over the past 3 or 4 years, the amount of football Saka has played
It's a
is
lot, man.
it's a
It's
lot,
crazy.
and he has
It's
had
too
to
much
rush
for
himself back
anybody.
from injuries, serious injuries that should have taken a little bit
Then
longer to
that
heal.
sort of raises the point though. You say we have the best squad. You spend 50 million pounds on Noni Madueke. Then why do you have to rush Bukayo Saka back if it's 50 million pounds should be a reasonable replacement. And then let's talk about last season where you had Ethan Waneri on the wing in his first full season, scored 9 goals, brought him to the number 8 where there's obviously no space, loaned him out half season. Now you have Bukayo Saka injured, Noni Madueke half injured. Look, to me, it's just some level of poor man management in the way Arteta handles his play. And then we can't just keep saying it is a team, because look, this is year six, 3 straight years out of the FA Cup by making the same mistake, playing a subpar team. This just can't continue. Well, I think I've had enough of Arsenal for today. Um, so I think we can wrap up our sport content, except you have some other topics you want to touch on. But if you just want to keep dropping bounce on Arsenal, man,
No, no, no.
I'm gonna have to
That's from,
protect the boys here.
no, it's all good. It's all good. At the end
It's
of the
all
day,
good.
like you said,
Yeah.
Arsenal is just like Netflix. You have to keep waiting for next season. So,
Screw that, man. Well, I guess we have 7 more games to see if it's Netflix, and if it's gonna be Netflix, we might
no,
have
I still
a
have you
big
guys.
title
I still
celebration at
have
the
you
end of the
guys.
season.
I still have
So
you guys
we'll
locked in for
see.
the title. I told you multiple times that I think you
Then
guys
that
have
then
done
that
that
defeats
already.
the Netflix narrative there, because if we win the league, the banter is buried. So I think we can
Is it
wrap.
though? Is it though?
Yeah, is it? Yeah,
Is
is
it
it?
though?
Yeah,
Is it
is
though?
it?
Is it though? Because if that's the case, then why were we making fun of Liverpool? They won the league last year. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but the point is, they're trash now.
So
So
that's
if
the
we
point. So
win the
winning
league
one title
and
doesn't
become
stop this band
trash
from
and become
coming. Okay.
nah, man, the banter is eternal, bro. But if you
Uh-huh.
win the league, at least you have a chance to pause the banter. The talk about Arsenal never win anything, that dies a natural death, because the
True.
league title is the biggest trophy in England. So if you win the league, then at least you have a period where you can, we can be
It's the reason
braggadocious, for
why
lack
it's
of
the
better
reason why I'm
terms.
echoing the sentiments that regardless of recent form, Arsenal still have the best squad in the league because
I'm
to win
struggling
the
to
league,
believe that,
you
bro.
have to be
I'm
on
really
top for
struggling to
38
believe that.
games. And to be on top for 38 games, it requires consistency and, week in, week
I
out
would say
level of
we
output
have the
that
best
it's not
defense, yeah.
in the Champions League, sometimes you can face different circumstances. It's a knockout game, anything can happen. So, quote and unquote, you can fraud your way into winning it. I'm not taking anything away
Nah,
from them.
I
But
have
you
to
cannot, quote
disagree
and
about
unquote,
that,
fraud
man.
your way into winning a league title. If you win a league
You,
title,
you
it means
know,
because in that for that year, you were the best team in the league for that year.
agreed. But then
No
one thing we
flips
should
about
also
that.
take note of is the style of play in these two competitions. When you're in the league, everybody has seemed to take this approach of physical football, low blocks. But you go to the Champions League, teams actually want to play football. People are trying to actually attack, and when a team attacks, they're kind of open, so you have the opportunity to play through them, and then you see a different side of Arsenal. But once you're in the league, man, it's drab. I really shouldn't be cursing, man, because we're trying to
Hey,
monetize this
hey,
shit.
hey,
So
man!
we're gonna cut
Let it
that
all
shit
out.
out.
Let it all out, man. Let it all out. I'm here for you. Vent to me. Vent to
It's
me.
super drab, man. You're trying to watch football, watch entertainment. I spend the whole week waiting for this damn game, and then
Whoa.
I'm there on the couch, and I can't even watch 10 straight minutes because the game is so boring. I find myself on my phone trying to see, what are people talking about in terms of the
Hmm.
game. Well, I did tell you a couple weeks back that my hope is Arteta wins the league, because if it doesn't, to me, that's probably the end of his tenure. I don't want to have to watch this style of football for the next 5, 6 years. So,
Without winning
um,
anything. But on the
without
flip side,
exactly,
if he does win the league, and we say to you, you have to endure another year of this type of football, but you will defend your league title. What do you say?
but I have to take it, man. I have to
So, do
take
you
it,
really
but
hate this style, or you're just mad that you didn't win the FA Cup?
I guess I hate and I love it, man.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, all right. So let's wrap up our sports section for the week with
But
so
love the
who's the
week.
butler of the week? Just so everyone know, this is gonna be an ongoing theme, so every week we're gonna have a butler of the week. We will decide it. I'm gonna give my opinion, JR is gonna give his opinion, but we also want you, the fans, to, fans. Okay, I like the sound of that word. So we also want you, the subscribers, to, give us your opinion of the
The
butler of the week.
viewers.
Yeah. Okay, I call them fans, call them subscribers, now they're viewers.
Well, then
So,
family.
La Familia, yeah, I
Go
also
on,
like that.
yeah.
So, my butler of the week has to go to Mikel Arteta. You know, um, by January, we're talking about possibilities of a quadruple. In the space of 2 games, we've gone from a quadruple to a possible double. So it's fair to say we're not even going to win the double. Let's just hope we win the league. So my bottle of the week is Mikel Arteta. JR, what are you saying?
I mean, it goes without saying. I would have given the entire Arsenal team the title, but to your point, at the end of the day, the buck stops at the feet of the manager.
The
So
coach, yeah?
if the
Yeah.
boys are not up for it, at the end of the day, that's what he's being paid to do. So I agree with your choice of Mikel Arteta being the butler of the week. This was another chance for him to get into the semi final of the FA Cup, and two wins
And the
away
bottled
from
it.
two wins away
Bottled it big
from
time.
completing a good domestic double. So yeah, butler of the week for sure, Mikel Arteta.
Okay, so myself and JR, we agree on the butler of the week. So it's up to you viewers, let us know what you think. Do you agree with our butler for this week, or do you think it should be someone else? Let us know in the chat.